So I don't have the mic here. I'm not using that one right now. And so what I'm working on is actually I just created. No, I didn't create, but I put together a. I sent an email to a previous client to just get some feedback. And so I asked them like a questionnaire, and they gave me feedback. And I'm using this to educate other people, but also look at like what I can do better as an agent. And so I actually sat down. I have a beanbag over here. I sat down in this beanbag just to change the scenery and just create a different environment. Uh, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna make a reel for each question and answer that I can use to distribute on social media to just help others kind of take away some of the pressure and anxiety that comes with this process. And so, how I do this is I actually I would play some music, but and so how I do this process is I've already created the video. I've taken care of all my stuff that I'm needed to do today. I've got some stuff I'm waiting on, but that's completely out of my hands. Man, I'm gonna turn this fan on because it would make too much sense to take all this stuff off that I have on instead of just pause. What the hell just, oh, here we go. Between between the coffee and then just the energy that I'm all amped up on uh, life. I just need to cool down a little bit. It's getting hot in here, so hot, so take off all your clothes. I can't get too hot. I want to take my clothes off. Ignore me. And so now that we've done this, almost dropped the motherfucking mic. We're gonna turn that fan back off. Anyways, so what I just did is I just made this video with these series of questions, and then I'm just gonna I'm gonna break down how I go about this. I'm not really gonna break down, but I use CapCut a lot. I've used CapCut just because I feel like it's the easiest for me, and so I'm going in here. I'm going to open CapCut. This is a whole nother series or video you can do, but this is just kind of what the day looks like today. It's different every day. Some days are super slow. Some days are a little bit more challenging than others. A lot of computer work, a lot of phone, email, and then obviously because of what I do with social media, you have to add the whole dynamic of creating content and doing all this other stuff. But quite honestly, putting this stuff out there and creating this stuff has been what I feel like has been a good source of leads for me. And so it's hard to not do this stuff because I enjoy it. And then also too, it's just where I feel like most of my stuff is coming from. And so I wonder if, what did I do here? Oh no, oh yeah, no, that's not it. We're gonna close that one down. We're gonna throw that one away. This video is not it. And so yeah, I'm just gonna break down this process of this questionnaire that I had him answer. And I am gonna break it down into, oh, I felt something vibrate. Might have been my coffee. 13 minutes. I think it's the one that was 13 minutes. Boom. Let me see if my big head pops up on this thing. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? The advice that I would give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home is to get pre-approved through a lender. Perfect. And so I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to chop this up into questions. I'm going to spread these reels over maybe over the week. I think this is going to be my weekly thing where I take this questionnaire. And let me see here if I can do this. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 questions here. And so that would give me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That would give me Sunday off to do something else. And so, yeah, this is perfect. And so this keeps me relevant. This keeps people intrigued. This is useful information. I think it's real estate, but it's sexy real estate because it's a what do you call it? It is informative, and so you actually get feedback from real people and not just me. You know, maybe given you get the salesman approach feel from me doing this, and so I want to keep this super organic, super transparent with you guys, and so I'm just gonna sit here and break down what these reels look like, and so I'm just gonna get to work, and so I'll let this run, and I'll do a time lapse, and then I'll probably throw in some of these reels
So
at
I
the
want
end of
to.
it.
This stuff is helpful, right? Like at least for me. And so I feel like
And
this
and
is
so
kind of
something that
crucial because
I'm
I feel like
being
a lot of
mindful of is I want to over explain so much all the time, and
I
you're
feel like this
very
is good
limited
information to have
to what
because we're all. No one knows everything.
we're very limited to what's going on. We're very limited to how much time I have on social media, and unfortunately, people only have a small attention span. So you have like the first couple seconds to really grasp them, and so because of that,
What advice would you give?
you have to be very careful. I have to be very careful of how much I preach, how much I go into detail with certain things, because as much as I have a passion for it, and I want to really thoroughly explain everything to everybody, that's not the case. That's not sexy on social media. That's not super exciting. And so what I have to do is I have to keep it short and sweet
One thing
as
about
to
getting
what's
free
going
approved is
on
that it just
um, with just that reel. What's the point? What's the answer? Get to the question. Done. And so um, this is just something that I've learned over time. And so I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna raise the volume back up on this because I turned it down a little bit. Let's go look and see. And so, boom. And so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna add captions to this already off the bat because I'm gonna add them anyways. And so what time is it? I'm waiting for a call at 1 where I'm gonna have to go out into the field and follow somebody to go look at this stuff. You know, cafecito. But
Put y'all on some Freddy Fender right here, boy.
baby, ¿qué pasó? Waiting for this to upload 97%. Probably yapping too much. Excuse me. Hey, baby, ¿qué pasó? Thought I was your only vato. Come on, 99%, 99%. And so today would have been a closing day for me, but because it got pushed back, I didn't really schedule. I don't have much scheduled here. I got to go take care of some stuff this afternoon, and I got to go help my mom with something this evening. And so I'm trying to maximize. And I slept in. I didn't sleep in today, but I snoozed through my gym alarm. So I'm not proud that I did that. And so I'm just trying to maximize win here. That's already done. I got to win here. And so let's open this up. I'm gonna spread this timeline out a little
So I
bit.
wanted to.
I can create another video and go in depth for this if you guys want. And so
So I feel like this is good
I'm just gonna run through this real quick and just break down what I need from here.
So I've been asking previous clients some of their advice and input.
And see,
on,
this
on
is
this stuff.
explaining what
One
I'm
of the
doing,
questions that I asked this
and those
individual
that's too much
I
to
said,
put into a short
what
reel.
advice would you give?
And so I just need to go straight to the point. What like don't explain what I'm doing. And this is something that I'm learning about myself and how I do this. And this is perfect. So I just shut up and I jumped straight into it. And so I'm gonna delete this, and then it should be just a question. I'm gonna raise the volume up a little bit so you guys may or may not be able to hear this. Let's go here.
In this,
Yeah, cool. And so
what advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? The advice that I would give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home is to get pre-approved through a lender to understand how much of a budget you have and also show sellers how serious you are. One thing about getting pre-approved is that it just
butchered that. And so cool. And so there's a lot of editing that goes on behind this. And so I'm just going to delete everything to the left of that. I don't need that. And I'm going back
the
to
thing about getting pre-approved is that just because you
that's
are
me
approved for a
proofreading
certain
it,
doesn't mean
going
that you
through
purchase a home for
the
the
delivery and
first
being
time.
familiar with it. So it's, I'm not
And understand that come
I
up
could
with
read,
feedback.
obviously, I haven't made it this far in life, but like like the camera
In
being
this
on.
series of client feedback, I asked, what advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? The answer? The advice that I would give some
Perfect. And so that little first part I didn't butcher. And so I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and try to catch it right before I talk. That way it's less time. Again, you don't have that much time when it comes to these reels. You want to keep it down to keep it under a minute so that Instagram will recommend your reel, because if you start going bigger than a minute, it kind of just throws it out there, and it doesn't really Instagram doesn't like the longer videos, because again, attention span of the consumer is so narrow. What's the most narrowest, under a minute, if I've realized that it just does better. And so I have to go do this. I just thought about this. From 3 to 5. Somewhere between here, I just forgot about this. Somewhere between here and here, I have to go meet somebody in Houston. Meeting. Okay. And so I'm probably not going to be able to help my mom to do this stuff. And so, done. Okay, anyways. ADD brain, baby.
In this series of client feedback, I asked,
So I'm going to move these captions up. And so something that I've studied, like right here, the frame of what's going on, you guys can't see this, but like, imagine like, oh, I gotta. Okay, following up some more stuff. Cool. And so, so because the way I recorded this, imagine like when you're seeing this video here, half of me is going to be like right here on the bottom, right on the bottom half of the screen. So the top half, I'm gonna put the captions, and that's perfect because I want to screenshot the caption, the email question and the answer, and I want to be able to put it in there so where people can see it. And so the captions I'm gonna keep down low. I'm gonna keep the captions down low. And you don't want to go too low because your format, when you look at a reel, it's got your name, it's got all this other stuff. There's a science behind all this. I'm telling you guys. You guys, I'm giving y'all free game here. And so let's go back. Boom, that's me.
in this series of client feedback, I asked, what advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? The answer? The advice that I would give someone. Oh.
This client is super
Man,
sassy,
if I had
dude.
the answers, I would've told you.
I laugh, bro. She's fun. She's a good time. She's been cool.
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Okay, all this stuff. Damn. How much of this? I'm gonna go through and just delete a lot of this because I need to get back to what I was at.
That works better.
Okay, still yapping to this client. I think it's right here.
I would say
Okay, nope. Let's go right here.
it is.
Okay, boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
But
Okay, no more yapping. And so let's go to right here.
so I've been doing this.
Perfect. And so cool. And so I'm gonna delete everything to the left of that. Done. And so everything we're doing is content. Everything we're doing is content. Some of the conversation there with that client could be other content to just let people know that, one, I'm busy, how I go through the business and do all this, and just you got to keep that in mind. Everything we're doing is content. And so the approach to all this is just to stay relevant, make it spicy, make it sexy, make it something completely different than what other people are doing. So we want to stand out. If everybody's going with the current this way, we want to go the other way, because the other way is what causes us to stand out, which I don't know anybody doing these client reviews. I haven't seen people do that. And so two things: lets me know what I need to fix. And then also too, lets other people know real client experiences and some of the advice that they would give. And so I'm back to where I need to be.
So I've been doing this
Again,
thing about
too much
asking,
explaining,
other
not enough
clients
doing.
just for their honest feedback. I feel like round 2 of questions and answers from previous clients. Number 1, what advice would you give?
Perfect. And so I'm just gonna just stop it at number 1.
Number
Cool. Number 1. Done. I don't need to explain too much. And that's what I'm learning about this content game. Just get to the juice, bro.
Number
Get to the
1.
juice.
What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer.
And so answer has got a little gap of how I recorded this. So I'm gonna snip that and I'm gonna move it over just straight to the answer.
Question. What advice would you give someone?
Okay. See, I think I reset there, and so I'm gonna go ahead and delete everything to the left of that. Boom.
Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer. The advice that I would
Perfect. And so,
answer. The advice that I would give someone is that getting ready to buy your first home answer.
okay, so I clearly didn't like that one. So I'm gonna hit split here, and then I'm gonna go back to this one, and I'm just gonna delete everything to the left of that. Boom. Now it brings me to that answer. So like, when I create content and I'm creating this stuff, is sometimes I want to just reset and just re-record everything. But if I just let it run, I let it run, and then I can take one part of it, the part where I talk about the question. What if I got a good clip of me explaining the question or reading the question, then I can go in and I can just cut the part where I get the answer down. And so a lot of times it's trial and error of me sitting there and reading what the answer is. And so I'm not gonna overly edit it or overly fluff these reels, but this is just what I'm doing to help try to like I already told you, stay relevant, stay up to date, stay on top of everything. And so I'm gonna work on this. I'm not gonna bore you guys too much with this. And then it's hard for me to honestly it's hard for me to honestly concentrate on everything as I'm explaining it. And so I'm just gonna just run through real quick about how I do all this, or I'm just gonna do these real quick because that's really it. I record everything. Sometimes it takes a take or two. I find answer 1 that's read the best, and then I find answer 2, and boom, that's one clip. And question 1, answer 1. Then I find that's one clip, that's one reel. Then I do question 2, and then I do answer 2. And so like I'm finding all those, and then I go and I add captions, and then I also add the screenshots that I crop, and I put them in this as well. And so that way they can see the response for themselves, and then it just lets them, they can go back and read all that. And so if I keep these down to one reel per question, like I was telling you, it gives me 6 pieces of content that allows me to stay relevant, and it lets me feed the machine. Again, you have to constantly be nourishing and feeding this machine. This machine is what generates leads and keeps me relevant. And so that's what I am just hoping to do. And so I also need to follow up with one guy on this one. My guy. Where we at? I need to text him. I need to text my boy. How far are we? Where you at, dog? Where you at? So I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna hone in over here. Put a little music on, not too much because I gotta listen to what I'm talking about. A little Mac. I'm on a Mac Miller kick right now. I'm on a Mac Miller, and so cool.
Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer. The advice that I would give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home is to get pre-approved through a lender to understand how much of a budget you have, and also show sellers how serious you are. One thing about getting pre-approved is that just because you are approved for a certain amount doesn't mean that you have to purchase a home for that amount. You also need to understand where your budget is and understand all the costs that come with purchasing a home. I love this. Just because you are approved for $500,000 doesn't mean you have to exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
Boom. Done. And so that takes me to 44 seconds. And so the beauty of that, the beauty of this is that it's all within under a minute. Done. One reel under a minute. We're good. And so what I'll do right now is I'll just go ahead and I will do what I need to do is I'm going to go to the questionnaire itself and I'm going to go and just screenshot. Boom. I've got to question 2, question 3, and then question 6. And so screenshotting this allows me to upload these to Dropbox, right? From Dropbox, upload photos, 1, 2, 3, 3 pictures. And so from Dropbox, I pull them from Dropbox to my computer, and then from my computer, I crop the ratio of them, and then I'll stick them overlapping over here. And so this just helps. It's just a way for me, what I'm seeing, I think this would help. And I'm just trying. I'm literally, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm just bringing in a little bit more content to see what happens. I'm just staying relevant, making it juicy, making it sexy, making it spicy. It's something that's better than me just talking to a camera, trying to educate you. There's nothing sexy about education. There really isn't, unfortunately. And so I'm trying to just bring more, you know, make this stuff fun, make this shit fun, B. And so I'm gonna go into here, and now that I've got Dropbox uploaded, I'm gonna go to Dropbox. I'm gonna go to Home, All Files, and I should have. It's loading. It's loading. It's loading. Okay, perfect. Got 'em. So here, download, here, download, here, download. Done. And so where did it save those? It saved those in where did it save them? I don't know. It's probably just in documents or downloads. And so I'm gonna go to CapCut. I'm gonna go into import the media, and I'm gonna go to downloads, and then here they are. Perfect. Boom. And so all the screenshots are there. And so I need question 1, because this is question 1. And so I am running through this because I know what this does. So now that I'm here,
Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first?
boom. So I want to do here. I'm actually going to go, now that I got this pulled up, I am actually going to edit this clip, and I'm going to change the crop ratio of it because I want to make this super boom. And I might just do just one big deal, and I might just make this boom, done. There. And so I'm going to put that deal over the entire clip. Let me go back and see where we're at. And so this is 4 minutes, but that's not what I needed. I needed to delete everything on the right. Is this it? Okay, that is way too much. And so there was a part over here that I cut.
I love this. Just because you are approved for 500,000 doesn't mean you have to exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
Okay, and so just because I understand this system, the last thing I'm going to do when I get it all situated how I want it is delete everything to the right of this video. And the reason for that is because I am going to delete it, save this portion of it, and then I'm going to undo the deleted part, delete this one reel that I made, and then I'm going to continue to just work down the questions until I do that. And so it's easier for me to do it this way. And so
Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer.
Done.
Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer. The advice that I would give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home is to get pre-approved through a lender to understand how much of a budget you have and also show sellers how serious you are. One thing about getting pre-approved is that just because you are approved for a certain amount doesn't mean that you have to purchase a home for that amount. You also need to understand where your budget is and understand all the costs that come with purchasing a home. I love this. Just because you are approved for 500,000 doesn't mean you have to exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
Done. Boom. And so I am going to extend this out.
Doesn't mean you have to exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick with.
Okay. And so in this picture of like, this is just all editing stuff. And so in this picture, I'm going to fade in,
Would you give?
and then also I'm gonna fade out. So it just looks better. And so I'm just gonna add a second fade in and a second fade out. And so the text here, I'm going to add my effects to the text that I like is just this green. I just like the green. The green. Something about the green, bro. Something about this green is sexy.
Stick within your budget.
Okay, I don't want too much. I want to just keep it really simple. I really want to keep it like this one's cool. Nothing super, but I like green, and so I gotta find something green. And so the green with the car theme and everything that I've been doing thus far. Oh, the fuck am I talking like that? The green that I need to find. Where's the green? Where's the green? No, that's too. And so what I'm looking for is I don't want the captions to be too quick where somebody can't read it. So you can do one word at a time, but then it's like that's way overdone. And so I want to make it to where it's like 3 or 4 words, boom, like it does like a sentence as it's moving. And so I'm just going through CapCut, finding all this stuff, and it's super easy once you get the flow of it. And so you'll never know until you actually start doing this stuff, what works and what doesn't. And so I promise you that it's not as scary. Here's the green. This is exactly what I was looking for.
Stick within your budget.
Boom, I love the green. Okay, so I'm gonna actually save as preset. Save to as preset. Perfect. So now when I go to these things, it'll be there. And so there, let's go back and look at this real quick. Is this ready to be downloaded?
Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer. The advice that I would give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home is to get pre-approved through a lender to understand how much of a budget you have and also show sellers how serious you are. One thing about getting pre-approved is that just because you are approved for a certain amount doesn't mean that you have to purchase a home for that amount. You also need to understand where your budget is and understand all the costs that come with purchasing a home. I love this. Just because you are approved for 500,000 doesn't mean you have to exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
Done. That's beautiful. So now that I have that, I'm going to actually delete everything to the right of this. Everything to the right of this. Boom, deleted everything to the right, and I'm actually gonna add my real estate logo in this. And so market yourself, brand yourself, make sure what you're doing. Desktop real estate logo. Here we go. PNG file. This is perfect. This is the one that I was looking for. Does that put me here? Yes. Perfect. And so brand yourself 100%. Brand yourself 100%, man. I couldn't stress this enough. Like this, if no one's gonna market for me, who is? You know, let's just go back and look. And I'm actually gonna fade. I'm gonna fade that logo in as well, just so that it just looks like a cleaner, crisp approach. And I'm gonna do out 1 as well. And so boom, 1 second in, 1 second out, and then that's it. And I'm actually gonna fade this video out. Fade out just to give it like a cinematic presence, you know, like we're done. And so I'm actually gonna go here, boom, and I'm gonna delete the right, and then it should move the out. And this is a lot going on, and so if y'all want more of this, I can let you know how I do this, because this shit is exciting. This shit's cool. This is actually a pretty fun part of this job.
Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer. The advice that I would give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home is to get pre-approved through a lender to understand how much of a budget you have and also show sellers how serious you are. One thing about getting pre-approved is that just because you are approved for a certain amount doesn't mean that you have to purchase a home for that amount. You also need to understand where your budget is and understand all the costs that come with purchasing a home. I love this. Just because you are approved for $500,000 doesn't mean you have to exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
Done. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And so, you know what I may do here? Just because the way that I like the way this worked, I may end up moving this picture over to, I've got some time. So this is 44 seconds. And so I've got time where I can do 44, I can do 10 seconds. 44, I'll do 54 seconds. Done. But and so consistency is key, and so I want to make sure that I don't do too much, because then I'm gonna have to constantly stay up to this, and so I want to make my job also as most efficient as possible. And so I think I don't think I'm gonna do that. What I was thinking of was doing the clip where it fades, my logo pops up, and then it's got like, you know, client review feedback. Boom. You know, I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it like that. This is so much easier.
Love this. Just because you are approved for $500,000 doesn't mean you have to exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna leave it like that. No, no, no. And so I'll just do this. Boom, center, and then I'll make it a little bit bigger. Done. And so
stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
And so how long should this thing be? So I've got 42, and that's like 5 seconds. Let's see.
Exhaust every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
And so I'm going to move this back a hair. Okay.
Smart. I loved working with them.
I like it. It's crispy. Boom. And then on the outside, I'll do a fade out, and I'll do a minute as well. That way it fades out. Boom.
That money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
Oh, that's a lot going on.
Every ounce of that money. Stick within your budget. These people are really smart. I loved working with them.
Summertime! Cool. My roommate woke up finally. Sleeping Beauty has woken.
Loved working with them.
Boom. And so I'm actually going to fade. Can I fade this out? Bro, you can fade everything out. Dope. Out. Fade out. And I guess I got to fade them in if I'm going to fade them out, right? Fade away. Fade in.
Question.
And so let's go a second.
Question. Question. What advice would you give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home? Answer. The advice that I would give someone that is getting ready to buy their first home is to get pre-approved through a lender to understand how much of a budget you have and also show sellers how serious you are.
I like it. And so now this is where I was telling you where I was going to try not to delete the back half of this until I was ready to go. Because now in order to put this back in, to get the next one, I got to go back and redo all the, undo all the little final touches. And so this is just the way I work. And so I'm gonna go ahead and export this as the client's name, and then question one. That way I stay on top of what's going on here. Boom, done. And so that way I stay organized. And so part of staying organized, somebody online that I know that I follow that's another business owner, he had a whole folder that he created he closed out 2024 and now he's doing 2025 work. And so I need to get just this organized with that. And so I'm gonna delete. Now that I've got it, let me go back and look real quick. I'm gonna go to, and this stuff takes a little while. This isn't really the sexy stuff that goes behind the scenes when it comes time to like running this business and creating this stuff. But if you don't do this stuff, like if you don't invest in this part of the business, then how do you expect anybody to take you serious, right? And so this is the easiest thing for me to find as far as like marketing goes, staying relevant, giving people this feedback, educating people, but also being the guy that people go to, right? And so this is just, for me, this is more fun and more efficient than it is to just go pay for some random ass generic marketing that is just going to get thrown away. There's nothing sexy about generic ass marketing. And so for me, this is my personality. It one sells people on the fact that I know what I'm doing. It's good feedback, whether it's good or bad or whatever, it's feedback. And then also it gives people advice as to how to maneuver the system. So this is what I'm doing. I'm not gonna drag this video out anymore. We're almost at 40 minutes, and so this is it. I'm gonna put these out, and if you guys want to check this out and just see what the final product looks like, head over to my Instagram and check it out. And just let's pay attention to the views, the likes, the comments, and see what if these work, and just see what happens. We literally are just trying anything and everything at this point to have fun, to be creative, to help people along the way. But let's just have fun with it. This is all I'm doing, is having fun. Peace.